How long of a day was Sunday? Walk me through Sunday for you.
Ooh, trying to stay focused on our game, but you're seeing the, Jacksonville and Colts game. Colts were struggling, and Jacksonville put it away, and Baltimore is excited because they're feeling like they got a chance. We go to overtime, and it was a grinded out type of game, and we were able to get the ball one last time, score a field goal with 2 minutes left in overtime, and we're feeling pretty good. And then you start watching the Chargers and Raiders game coming on at 8:00, and man, my night went very long into the night. My kids were woken up by me.
What do you mean?
Screaming at
What do you mean?
I was a little loud.
About what? Like what in particular got you loud, Cameron Heyward, of watching Sunday night?
The amount of fourth downs they converted. I'm just like in my head. I'm like, dude, you guys can end it right here. And every time Justin Herbert came up with big plays, and I'm like, come on. But you really got to thank Josh Jacobs, because I feel like he put us in range to for them to get a field goal. And I'm like, thank God. And they kicked the field goal, went through. I was like, all right, we got a shot now. So. That was about at like 1:30 in the morning. So
yeah,
it was a long night.
I'll tell you, just as a fan and watching it and understanding what the stakes are and what have you, it was exhilarating, right? And just watching that, and just I was on the edge of my seat. The number of people have called into the show, or friends of mine who we've been talking and texting, saying that was one of the most incredible games of football and weeks of football and Sunday games of football. But this is your livelihood, man. We just talked about your all-pro season and the amount of work you put in the off season, and what you were doing this season, and how, the tie against the Lions kind of set all of these things in motion, because if there was a three-way tie at 9-7-1, you were out, and it's all hanging in the balance like that. That must have driven you nuts, sitting there watching.
It did. And like Chris Collinsworth was killing me with, his talk about the tie during the game. I'm like, no way this ends in a freaking tie. And he kept bringing it up. I'm like, bro, like, stop. You're killing me. And, you never want to have your fate in somebody else's hands. But we did, and now we just got to make the most out of this. And not let it be in vain.
Yeah, and before we get to that, though, do you think the Chargers' timeout that they took, because Brandon Staley said he wanted to get the proper run defense on the field, and interestingly enough, Josh Jacobs ran through that run defense for a first down. Do you think that timeout did, in fact, help you and the Pittsburgh Steelers make the playoffs, because that led to the field goal? Do you think that made a difference, knowing football as you do?
The football person in me says, yeah, it helped. But the competitor in me is like, maybe they really wanted to win the game, but, I'm glad it ended up the way it did.
I bet.
I'll say that.
Cameron Heyward of the Pittsburgh Steelers here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's jump into it then. Ben even mentioned this week, that nobody's giving you a chance. Do you feel that way right now, Cameron Heyward?
Yeah, rightfully so. They've got a Hall of Fame quarterback in Mahomes, and skill pieces galore, opportunistic defense. They finished number 2 in the AFC. Not a lot of people are giving us a chance, but to my guys in my locker room, the 53 men and the staff and the organization and our practice squad, we believe in ourselves. And we'll see what happens.
Okay. What do you think needs to do to make it happen for you in the way that you want, aka a win? What do you need?
I think we got to get off on third downs. I think last time they were sustain a big drive that was like 10 minutes long. We got to be ready for the I wouldn't say scrambles, but the prolonged plays that Patrick does that extends the plays and, breaks coverage. because our DB shouldn't be having to cover for 10 to 12 seconds. When he does that, he usually makes somebody pay. And, our offense has got to put up some points. You're playing a high-flying team, but we feel like we got some really good players on offense as well.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.